And then they built boats, steam engine boats. So now the boats don't depend on the sail, they depend on a lot of coal they take with the boats. Now they can start traveling.
挺酷的，我觉得。哦，你 travel 去了。
Everything is now steam. The Titanic is a big steam engine. They have three big chimneys, massive engines. So now they can start using the steel because they have some power behind the steel. So now the whole steel industry, mechanics, are developed. So in the past, you say, well, why do you need a steel? You know, steel is heavy, and steel is now hard. You can make maybe a tool with it for farming, but now you need the steel for the steam engines, for all sorts of types of engines, big pistons, just like this in the Titanic. Now the steel become important. The boat is built from steel. The past you cannot do it, it's too heavy. The sails don't push that boat. You need wood that is light for the sailboats. And if the wind don't blow, or the wind blow against you, well, how do you move? So to make a trip to America is a dangerous thing. You depend on the wind. It can take 3 months or it can take 6 months. You have to wait for the wind, but now, not now. The steam engine can go fast, so the Titanic go fast. The guy says now the biggest ship, and what if we can get by Tuesday in New York, then we are also the fastest trip ever made from England to New York.
They have no chance to turn it out too fast.
It's too fast, yeah. So now all sorts of new problems come in because of this industry. So the workers work now too hard, so the government say you can only work 5 days a week, not 7 days a week of 14 hours, because they let the people work. There's profit, there's a demand.
That's how the Chinese work right now.
So you can just say Chinese just a little bit behind in this industry. They have just much more things than the steam engine. Alright, also computers now.
Car industry, this
Yeah. They're also manufacturing. Making of steel, of iron.
Oh,
So everything, the car is iron, everything they make is iron.
yeah, the car was formed in China.
Yeah.
All the material is there. So
Yeah.
to form it in China, the material is cheap.
So they have to get the material from somewhere, from Africa.
From China.
China has also some material. But South Africa have, the Witwatersrand, here, this mountain.
The width.
Is the, what they say, the Golden Reef.
Oh,
Have a third of all the gold in the world. So you must know in America there's gold, Canada is gold, Russia is gold, China is gold. Of all the gold, here, this area, here, Johannesburg, this area, have a third of the gold of the whole world. So most of the gold was on the surface. And already conservative 2 billion ounces of gold was already produced. They estimate, but you never know how deep the gold gone. So surely they go deeper, the reefs go deeper and deeper into the ground. So they are already here in South Africa about 2 miles under the ground, but it gets very hot, 60 degrees Celsius. So it's too hot, so they have to cool it down. And surely they have a big effort to put robots on because it's too hot for people to work. But they consider maybe much more. There's still a billion ounces. You know, how much is 1 ounce of gold? How much is it?
What else is
If you have 1 ounce of
grams?
gold,
How many grams?
ounce, yeah, the ounce is a pound. How many ounces in a pound?
Ounces, a pound is
So they don't talk about grams, they talk about ounces. It's the English system.
America uses the same system. Ounce.
We say Americans instill miles, and they have never switched over to the metric system. South Africa has switched over, but they still inches, and so.
What's all this? What's this? English?
But it's come from the English system, can you understand that? So the French, Napoleon have said, now we have to have a 10 system, not this 12 and 16 and miles. It's a strange measurements.
No, you asked me ounce.
And meters, and not yards. They have all sorts of strange things.
Feet.
Feet. All right, ounce. So how much is the ounce today on the stock market? If you have 1 ounce of gold in your possession, how much?
How much? How much?
$2,000
So much.
for 1 ounce. Now you can calculate it. So you have 2 billion ounces already come here out of South Africa.
2 billion ounces.
2 billion ounces. Yeah. So you have to pick up the numbers like Jordan. It seems the numbers is just vague for you.
Not per se, everything.
You like all the big numbers. The bigger the numbers, the more happy he is. Most people, if the number go a little bit big, they are just very vague of what it is. All right, so where is the money? So South Africa must be very rich if you have 2 billion ounces of gold.
Yeah.
So somebody must have made a lot of money out of South Africa.
You must be very rich.
So surely. All right, but you have now to say it's not just gold, it's all the other heavy metals. And there's reefs somewhere. Reefs is big like this. And then in that reef there's just gold, okay, standing. Then you have rock layers, now no gold. So they just go where the reef go. So they go just down where the reef go, okay, standing. And all right, so they don't know how the gold have come here, because gold is not the sun that they explode. if a sun explodes, it's only at the top level elements. It's like salt and silicon and rock and things like this it produce.
Okay.
Now, if you want to go a little bit lower, lithium, iron, and so on, then you need what they call a supernova. It's like two very big suns that first turn around itself as a twin, and then they collide and then explode. And then, so from these two fusions, you get now iron and heavier things. But to produce gold, you need two galaxies that merge, and then their black holes turn also like this. Till they merge and explode, then they produce gold. So that we have gold here in South is just a miracle. You can have maybe iron, but not gold. Gold comes from a very strange type of fusion of massive power. So how is this possible that Earth had gold? And this heavy metals. So they just need uranium. And you can make these massive bombs. But it must come from two galaxies in the past that have merged and exploded to produce the things on the Earth. So it's actually very strange. They're very strange, these things that is on the Earth. And we don't know how it comes here. So the gold is actually very, it's a heavy metal. And it, all right, so you can now say a third of all the world's gold is about 2 billion ounces. So then you can say maybe then the whole 6 billion ounces. And then you can calculate how much it is probably is, about 10 trillion, 12 trillion dollars. So massive amounts of value. All right, so now here's now industry. Everything's changed. Cities start forming. The farms was not so important. Everyone was on the farms. Because people have now force, steam engine force. And which now the same principle, all the power stations here. So just coal, which they burn, produce some steam, and the steam turns something. So it's just, this is the energy stores. And surely out of this abundance of products, of convenience, people can spend time on other things than go and farm instead. They can start thinking a little bit, and then if you think and find a solution, you can do some implementation. So surely now many other things develop behind this source of what could you say, wealth, of riches, of treasures. All right, surely the car industry was now also steam. You cannot be so precise. as the combustion engine. And surely there was no electric motor also. Too early. They've actually been developed too early. Can you stand there? It was never really utilized. And all sorts of things. We have now gas. We built now rockets. Only now we start building rockets again. And so that was the turning point of history, the Industrial Revolution. So that have caused many other things to develop. Just the thing that you can move, you have a source of power. Surely now we start harvesting the sun's power, a lot of other different types of power. And we have nuclear power, we have all sorts of forms of energy, which form the base of industry. We have just electricity, so many things. You work just out of this technology of electricity. Surely to generate electricity, to move the electricity, all these big projects. So something else of people have started developing.
I see.
Surely in the past you have now the elite, they read books, philosophy books. And some have some little mathematics. So Newton come up with no meaning. But now when you have a steam engine, now his formulas, you now have a combustion car, now his formulas become now very, very important, from strength and momentum and all these things start being now, the implementation of that become heavy importance. And surely yes, the India he developed the binary mathematics, unimportant, it's just no meaning. Who want to count in binary? But to go to the roots, surely now when the computers they have an inverter. So you put a signal this in and at the end it comes the opposite out, or this, like this. And then you have an AND gate, they have two inputs. Now, only when both are on, then the other one go up. If any of them are off, or both are off, then it goes down. Now this is logic gates we have. But, and then you can invert it. Then there's a NAND gate, not the AND gate. AND say both must be on for on, but now you reverse it. If both is on only, then it's off. Any on the others on, then it is on. There's the NAND gate, powerful logical system in mathematics. With that you can add, that you can move, so many things you can do, which we do in the computers. Well, just with that surely you have to put many together and then you have this reactions. So eventually they can add. If you can add, you can multiply. And if you can add, you can subtract. All these through just these gates. With on and off, things that go on and off. And then you have this reaction, from this you have another reaction. They call it registers, all sorts of strange things. Eventually, with a lot of these types of gates, logic, they call it logic gates, very primitive. They built a processor, which we call today a microprocessor. Can you stand that? You have a couple of functions. You can add with it, subtract with it, multiply with it, divide with it, and you can move things. You can move information, which is just on and off, to another. So you can move the number in and move another number in, and then you can add it, and then you can move it to another place. So now a lot of things start happening. Just that you can start moving things. Then you type something in and you have to move it now to the others. All these things, big problems. And if you type a key here, you must say what key is it, what number it represents. So you have a lot of logic. That key is, and so many things go off and on, and then this is the number, that key. Now you don't see the number. Then they say if I have this number, then make on the screen something like this. So all sorts of things just to express this logic become highly significant. So now, even just to store the information you produce, no calculator, you don't have to add, subtract, just take them and put it on a place and have maybe some way to sort it alphabetically, and so you can call it up. Just that's a big mathematical problem. It's actually very static. You type things in and then the printer prints out, and the woman don't have to click it in, and she can delete the thing. So in the past, she typed, if she make one error, she have to type from the beginning again. Oh, she must make it, and people don't want you to correct with their white little things. So if she type one error, this is a big effort to correct it. What if she type right, but she spell wrong? So there's so many problems which the computer starts solving. Now anybody can be a typist, not only a highly trained one that must type each letter exactly right, and who know what the spelling must be. Okay, so the spelling must be perfect, and don't use too big words or whatsoever. You say do not know the spelling. And even if she knows the spelling, she can make a little mistake, and then she has to type very fast. If you type fast, you can make errors, all sorts of things, which you need a special secretary, highly trained for 5 years typing. It's just like a baboon. Now anybody can be a typist because. And then you have a spell checker, can correct yourself, and when you type here on your WhatsApp, you say, well, this is the word already guessed for you, all sorts of things, which are really insignificant things, just to gather information and send it or store it somewhere or whatsoever. Well, also just the information you have, you put in, send a message to somebody, but then organize something. Can you stand there? Between you and where to pick up Jordan or whatsoever, without somebody that have exactly say, and what if something happens, and then you have to change your message. This day go on vacation, or this day they move, and they don't go to school or whatsoever. So all I say, just to take the information and to can send it or store it or correct it or whatsoever. There's nothing strange. It's not mathematics. It's just you have some information in your head and you want to keep it. But just that problem of storing in a digital form, which is just numbers, which have massive elements of information we have. But now just this thing that you can draw a plan, draw a circuit board, now you build a new processor. Just because you have a drawing thing, you can make like this, and then you eventually have your mathematics. They work out the best way to put the transistor, eventually build your processor there. Actually, very little things we do. We mainly have something in our mind and we want to represent it and store it and sure, but now you have a plan, and the plan you build, according to the plan, you build your processor. So all the transistors are perfectly arranged according to that plan. And now they have just some laser light that create all the chips there on the wafer. So all sorts of strange things happen, but at the end, it's just you have information, you want to store it, and but sometimes it has no meaning. You have built the car in the air, and now the robot starts assemble it in a physical form, which you have designed in the air. Each of the little robots you program, you just do the one screw, and that one just put that thing in, and that one just do that, and you move it. It's the same idea for that fact. Assembly line, one go just do one, and then the car move, and then the next guy do another screw, and the next guy put just this thing on. So and then this next car come and he do the same screw on the next car. So this is the assembly line. So it was first his idea. And the past, you have 10, 20 guys around the car. And everyone must work together there on one car. Now they say, move it, the guy only does one, so he cannot make an error. Now the robots do it. The one robot you only program for this one thing. You don't have to program him for 100 things, another robot to program. And it's just a big arm, just a little arm. Now you have also just arms, and with the arms you do a lot of things. The whole development is actually not so sophisticated, but it seems eventually can look very sophisticated. It's just you have present some information, and then at the end, something of this you can put into the earth, and there your car comes out, which can move you fast from one point to another point. You just sit there and then you start moving wheresoever you want. But this is a heavy mechanical operations that happen there. Throw some energy in, and then engines go boof, 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 boof. It's just fire. First you need some battery just to get the boof, 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 boof going, and smoke come out, and all sorts of things, and you just sit there and make it more silent and close the windows, and you feel as if nothing happened here around you. But if you break off the exhaust pipe, you will hear wah, 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 wah. All the real things that happen for you to move so fast. They have just put a silencer on, something that makes something silence. In the past they have silencers, but you only drive here, then you get holes in. But today they have a certain metal, it's very hard metal, put once and for a lifetime. So today you don't hear it so much. Only on the motorbikes the young guys want not the silencers, they want to have the noise. Alright, so a lot of things happened. Just after the steam engine. Although new discoveries, but the steam engine have given them the force. You can move now things. Do something, wampum, and move it all over the world, and people can buy it. The whole farming thing, so to get food to the cities, now the cities won't die like in the past, because we can move, put the things in a truck, and any place in America, the next day the fresh fruit is there on the shelves, and the woman can choose the best fruit there, which come here 1,000 miles there somewhere from a vineyard or whatsoever in America, or here in South Africa. It come here from the Cape Town. It's overnight. The grapes came here from Cape Town here to so the lemons here from North Transvaal to any place over the country. Mathematics on something that do not exist. You don't have to use it, but yeah, because they teach you these things on school as if this is very important. You just don't know for where in the world. Now, surely sometimes they use it. It's just like normal mathematics. And then they give you tests and problems in your exams to pass on these things that just don't exist. Imaginary numbers just don't exist. There's no proof that it exists. It is not mathematically. There is no reality that represents this. But you have to learn it in school. And then you have to learn some sets. And one set is in another set, and some cross, and all sorts of strange symbols. Which is just one guy have this thinking, and he want to explain, and then they say it's right, and then it might be wrong, and then they must have this exclusion. It's just the imagination of somebody trying to say something. But you have to learn it in algebra, all the sets and the crossings. And I was in grade 8, I said, what in the world are they? Then they cross the set, and I said, what do they want to say? Then you have a set of everything and a set in the other set, and all sorts of strange, complex things. They want to make proofs. Might say something is true, but some things you cannot prove. It's just what it is. You get all these guys, they live in a strange world, nothing to do, but some of the things we work with is just numbers we work with, and then you place say, all right, so many, so less, or whatsoever. You have so many sheep, and now some of the sheep die, now you have lesser sheep, now you are not so rich anymore, whatsoever. You have one house, now you have 10 houses, so you need some sort of accounting or adding or whatsoever, real things. And then the guy come out with a new paper and say, yes, for the quantum mechanics to understand it, you need the imaginary numbers, the complex numbers. So it's one imaginary to prove another imaginary. So much of the information they give you is wrong. So I listened here to the German scientists. They say, well, the thing is, at the same time, at the same place, she said it is not true. It is just, you can have from the one is plus and minus or 1 or 0, you can have many numbers between it. It's not they are at the same time 1 and 0. This is the first thing I hear about quantum. Wow, at the same time they are the same. It can be a 1 or 0 at the same time. It only depends how you look at all sorts of Magic. They tell you the math, and this is the only thing you hear. No, listen, she said, this is not true. Now, we know the computers is 0 and 1. But there's many voltage between 0 and 1. There's normally 0 and 5 volts. And if it's above, I think 4 volts, then they say it's a 1. And if it's, they have a threshold, and then it's a 0 if it's under that. But the voltage have also a range from 0 to 1. We know, we talk this analog. The analog go like this, very smoothly. Oh, but no, you argue about quantum magic. This is rubbish. No, because nobody knows much about it. There's not a simple scientist that tell you the truth, because everyone are paid to talk this rubbish of evolution and of two things at the same time or whatsoever. It is a common feature. The only problem, and you know, IBM have no massive invest, and because of the scientists, and Google have massive invest, and they show you the woman, she are the CEO of the quantum computer. Now they do something. The only problem, you cannot scale. They have 55 they but don't use it, say it's bits as cube, but it means just this range of numbers. But you can never determine it. It makes too many errors. And if you have more bits, it makes more errors. Now more bits you have the error rate is too big to correct the error rate. And we know in a computer, if I transfer things, so on the internet, if the guy at the end check, he have the information come right. They have 1 bit, extra bit, which give an indication is the information right. It's like a hash number. If it's not right, this guy must send the information again. This is how the internet works. Very simple logic. So you send information, but there's so many things where wires and noise and things, one of the bits can change. If it changes, so you can check there's a likelihood that the check is perfectly right. If it's not right, this guy must send it again. And then we guess maybe this time the information come right. This are working how to write something on the hardest. So you write something, read it and see if it really what you have intended, if not, you write it again. Very simple principle. All right, so a lot of the scientific thing is just rubbish. It's not true. Then there is because there's entanglement. If this one move and this on the high distance also move, then the German women say don't. So then they say we can move data over massive distance, because if this move, that thing also move. They call it entanglement. Then, no, I reason with, I say, Benny, if you cannot prove it in the outside, it's probably not true in the inside. If you cannot prove the thing on the macro scale, it's probably inside also not like this. I say, look at the atom. You have nucleus, things around. Just look at our sun, and then you have planets. And then you have a black hole in the middle, and there all the stars, just like electrons around. You say, this is how the big things which we can see represent how the atom is also inside. And today they can have an electron microscope which can see exactly how the atom looks. how the things are. So if you look like a virus, it's like you have 7 feet, 6 feet, always 6 feet. And then you have a body, and it seems that we a head, but there's no eyes. It looks like a monster. But they have no microscope, they can clearly see how the virus look from the outside. You have these 6 legs, you stand like, just like a spider. 6 legs, the spider has 6 legs. So the 6 is a very common thing. All the molecules is a 6. So a 6 thing, and then there's a connection here. All the molecules, so as they present it, it looks really physically. This is how the things look. And I say, yeah, because then we can transfer information from one immediately. So you say, this is not true. So I reason for him. I say, if you want to move something, information from this to there, there's a connection. There's a wire. And then here you change things, it move through the wire, and after a time, here the things also move. It's just like you send a message to China, and here somebody see it. You say, this is how it works. You say, but what about the radio? I said, the radio is very clear. You send some waves into the frequencies, into the radio, pick it up. If you don't send it, the radio pick nothing up. So you cannot say, you have to send something. There's a connection between the radio and your sender. Now, if you have entanglement, there must be a line or connection between the two to transfer the information. They say, no, immediately the things, which is untrue. This is what they propagate, entanglement. Now, then the German woman say, even it is true, but the thing can only move at the speed of light. To say it moves immediately is just pure wrong. It don't move, it moves at the speed of light. There's a connection, and there's something that's sent to the other one, and it's moves at the speed of light. So they don't know what are saying, but they say it's entangled, they have all these big words. Now we know all our information move at the speed of light. Now we have electrons, they move also at the speed of light, but for our optic things is light, is real light, is photons. And the nice things about light, if you have a wire, there is millions of colors. Each color is a different frequency. So if you send and I send on one color, and you send on another color. So you can have on a little small wire, because it's optical, because of so many different frequencies, each different is a different light form. You can send massive amount of data over just one optic cable. It's not I have to wait after your things and then I can send my things or whatsoever, because you just switch in your information on a different frequency. Alright, so the optical things move at the speed of light. So if we currently send our internet as optics, I connect the optic really here at my room. From them it is optical till America. Can you understand that? Now it goes through switches and things like that, which delay it a little bit, but most of the way are just light, and it moves as fast as the speed of light. So your entanglement cannot go much further than what we already have. You see that? You see, there is an entanglement, but there's a certain information they omit. And then the big companies invest in it. They say, wow, if you have now quantum, then we can calculate things very faster. And then we can decrypt everything. But then she said, we have already quantum resistant encryption. I know the hash key you cannot. Even you have a very fast, you cannot do it. So there's so many, but nobody tells you about the problems because they want to give a promise. How this super fast, and then this Japanese American, they are paid so much. Wow, quantum, the future is just a question of time. But what about the physics? It's not true. All right, so the whole quantum thing is they've made because the quantum you have now the physics about a proton and a neutron, and then you have the quantum. This is now the electrons around the thing, but the electrons move in field. But you have not only electrons, you have also photons. So if the electron moves from one state to another state, it gives light. And this is a photon, but you have not photons only. You have neutrinos, you have quasars, you have geek. So there's a lot of elements that's moving in certain ways together. In a field, in a frequency or whatsoever around the nucleus. So this is what the quantum mechanic is about. It's about all these elements. So you have an electron, but then you have an anti-electron. You have a photon, which is light, and an antiphoton. A quark and a up and a quark down, and there's about 17 of these little elements. Now, the most prominent elements is the electrons and the photons. Can't stand it. This is the light, and electrons is the electricity. This is the electrons which we use to communicate. And their behavior. And they have waves. They move in certain patterns. And this is what the quantum, but now surely they've come up with all sorts of imaginary things, which is not true. And now surely here already 1972, they have already all the elements, which is around the protons and the neutrons, the core. But wow, grants and water. And from 70, now 50 years, nothing has happened. There's no new discovery, no new. But we have theories, so many theories, but none can be proven. It's this imaginary mathematics. As if that is multi-universes and parallel universe, all sorts of rubbish they come up with, but none can be proven. So, and they also say it's impossible to prove it. Understand that? It's just a mathematics. So then the guys, so surely the woman talked now to the Japanese guy, debate a couple of times. And she said, but when the day come, we've figured it out, we have already developed the mathematics. So she said, there's no proof, no evidence, no data about your dark energy, your dark matter, your multi-universes, all sorts of things. They have some sort of mathematics about to try to prove. And they must just bring more magic in there. They get more money from the government. So, and then talk so big of the future and whatsoever. But It's just like fusion. No, fusion is what happened in the sun. So new metal things are made, new heavier metal, but then a lot of energy are. So what they say, you get more energy out than energy you put in. This is fusion. So surely already in the 1980s, they say fusion is the future. Now, fusion happened on the sun. A lot of energy. This is why the sun has so much energy. But they've tried, and you had these big projects. But they always put more energy in than energy they get out. So then there's no use. You have to get more energy out than you put energy in. But then they get just close, but then they need this cooler and that thing to do this. And then if you add all the energy, it's much more expensive you need much more energy from outside than the little energy you produce. So surely big promises, big stories. It's the future. Today they still cannot do that. Fusion, they cannot do it. But they are still on the edge. We are nearly there. We are nearly get the future now, whatsoever. So all I say, probably half of the scientific things is just in the air. It's not true. It's like your imaginary complex number. You can have all sorts of things, it's just not true. It's just not true. You can just use normal numbers and do the same calculation. Only when you get to the imaginary things which they have proposed in quantum mechanics, then you need imaginary numbers. Because normal physical numbers don't work. Because physical numbers have to do with real things. All right. So, but what have happened? The man's mind was developed now a little bit. It's just because we can express it in reality. Now we get also now people that go with their mind in strange things. In the past, they have just philosophy. You can understand. Although the Greeks tried to be logic and say, what can I prove, what can I not prove, and they have started thinking, they have also now a lot of imaginary statements they can make, which is not true, which you cannot prove. So surely the mind of people have developed a little bit more. And surely with the mind, more goals and so on. Moral set is still a problem. So we know that the whole world is evil. So Paul said, you have delivered us from the present evil age. Just say everything is evil. There is not morals. Not in the high places, no places. Not in businesses. At least in the businesses, the other people correct you a little bit. So surely you are greedy, you want to take advantage of the people. But the people get smarter. You cannot take so much advantage of them. Right? But all the high places, the law, the legal things, all governments, as I say yesterday to you, why do we have democracy? Because we assume government is a corrupt system. So that you can just say for 4 years you have a corrupt system, but now we can maybe change this to a lesser corrupt. So you have democracy. Why do you have you assume that this system is a corrupt system? You don't need to have it if the system was well designed, that there cannot be corruption. Can you stand it? Then if something works, you don't have to replace it tomorrow. Can you stand it? So this is the concept. Now, if you have not a democracy, but you have a good, honest government, your country will run smoothly. There will be no problem. It's not democracy make the country run smoothly. It's just because there's too much corruption. And the corruption infiltrate into the marketplace. They make all sorts of laws. You cannot do this, you cannot do that, you cannot do that. Eventually you can do nothing. You understand me? All development are blocked because for hundreds of years they make laws. So Sagarasi said the energy industry is so highly regulated that nothing can happen there, can stand there. They've made too many laws. And surely all the industry, the chicken industry, the food industry, everything are highly regulated. Nobody can get anything else in there, can stand. Even you bring a cure for cancer, it are not acknowledged. There's too many regulations against it. And they will put you in jail if you treat the people, because you need a license and it must be regulated procedures and whatsoever. You cannot bring something new out and make it popular. You can do it in secret, but you cannot have a clinic and say, I cure cancer, because there's too many regulations against it. There you will have so many lawsuits from the state, from the federal, from too much regulations. And if you want to send up your rocket, even America wanted, the snake will have a problem. And what about the shark in the sea? There's too much noise for him. He will get confused. Some things are ridiculous, how much laws there is. The FDA shall decide that can the rocket go up or not. I say, you have nothing to do with the engineering and to do. Say, now we will decide that does it go up or not. Only when we agree it will go up, then it can go up. So what rubbish laws, this corruption is just, there's an evil setup. There's nothing good you can say. All the things which they want to do have turned into corruption. Why? Because the system they can do anything, there's no consequence. And you must know, if you become a senator, you can say anything, nobody can do anything against you. You are immune. So therefore you see someone say, talk very well. A normal guy cannot say it. Then people will sue it. Or even the big companies, they are immune. People can sue them, can stand there. So they can do something, can't say nobody can sue them, they can do what they want. So they have special laws protecting them. So there's one, and who have made all these laws? And then who have made the laws that after you're a senator, you're for life a senator. You are a judge, you are for life a judge. You are a professor, you have for life a tenure. Nobody can fire you. Who have made these laws? The people there. The people have not made the laws. And after the laws made, who can break the law? It's not here at the top there's a lot of evil. No, here on the ground there's also a lot of evil. It's just evil. There's no moral setup. The people have no moral setup. The simple things, you shall not steal. The normal people is too primitive. to realize that senators is too primitive, the law judge is too primitive to implement just a simple "you shall not steal." You shall not lie. So the whole purpose of the media is to lie. It's not to get the truth out. They are from the morning to the evening. They lie. So what type of civilization are you? And then America kill. They want wars because they have the industry to make weapons and they have to use the industry. The industry has some demand, market, and they send the young people into war. So what type of civilization is this? This is not civilized. They have no basic morals at all, but any of these institutions say what is right and say what is wrong. They don't say it. They always say, well, and they greet what advantage them. And, all right, so all I say, don't matter where you go, what country you go, to get a guy there at the top that have the power to be, make statements that's true, you don't get them. All right, so even the moral setups are not in place in our. We say, oh, we are so civilized. We are not so civilized. How higher you go up is just imaginary rubbish. It's just like these scientists with their imaginary numbers. We are the lead, we are the noble, we are the scientists, we are the experts. You have to listen to the experts. They are bought and paid for, everyone. And even you are not bought and paid, you cannot bring a paper out which are not according to the narrative. So you cannot get money. So what must the scientist do? Even he's an honest guy. He get no money if he don't publish, and he cannot say certain things which he know. So what is the information you get? And let you open your mouth a little bit for the COVID, they will cancel you. You can stand there. So what type of moral setup have we? We are for America. This is not how Americans think. This is that. There's no criteria I can say why I want to be American. You have corruption just all over your place. How many people have you killed in the Second World War? Oh no, we have a noble war. We have done. Somebody was very bad, and we was the good guy. Maybe you was the bad guy. You are not the good guy. What better thing you have bring what other government or Hitler could not have bring? You bring nothing better. So even Bush, when he came there, Romania said, because you don't know the Second World War, because most of that eastern countries, Ukraine, Romania, Lithuania, all these countries was free countries, and then they become communist. So Russia could take them over, and America promised we won't do anything. Because they've helped in the war to suppress Germany. All right, so all I say, to what justice? To give me the justice. But you know, each American won't think there's anything wrong with the nation. They say, we are a good nation, a promising nation. We are Americans. If I just see what your forefathers have done, I don't see there's anything noble. So we have here, still in Afrikaners, in a debate with the Americans. And surely there's a big debate what we do with the black people. Then you say, what have you do with the Indian? There was a massive amount. You put them in the little camps.
Yes.
You have killed all the buffaloes and they have not food. There was a nation. You have eradicated a nation. And you have taken over the country. What is so noble about that? Just today there is not an Indian group. There's not even a minority. Not even so much as the black people, but they was the inhabitants of America. America belonged to them. Surely nobody will say it belongs to the Indians now anymore. So if they have an argument, Africa, there's a lot of black people here, and now the white have taken over. The Americans have no argument. You understand it? The Hebrews have no argument. For 2,000 years, there was other people in their country, in that country. There was 2,000. You cannot just take your ground back. You understand?
2000 years.
Yes, 2,000 years ago, somebody else lived there.
Taiwan used to belong to us.
You don't know, maybe 3,000 years ago or what?
The other kings
Maybe there was one emperor conquered it, but then conquered it back. But now, maybe for once they have conquered it, or some Chinese that have gone there or whatsoever. Very vague. All right, so just the moral set, which determined the level of civilization, the level of superiorness of the man, that he can say, I cannot take what belongs to somebody else, because for me to have something I must work, and for him to have something he has to work. Now how can I take what it is? Now surely they have constructed a money system which you can easily take. Now it's difficult to take the guy's house because he lives in his house. But if you just change the medium of exchange, you can take anything from him. And then all these rulers, they have control over that. So they can take as much as they want, and nobody can say, if they just agree on something, then this is their law. They can take all your things. They can make laws just as they want. Now the taxes, yes, put it to 30%. All right, so the thing is, man, he's not even in a moral state, in average, no moral state. And his core leaders, which are the cream of civilization, are the most corrupt people. How much corrupt is than the average person? Can you stand that? So, because it's the average guy that gets into that places, he's corrupt. He has no conscience. He has no sense. You cannot steal. If he can steal, he will steal. Can you stand that? So, and he take the blockages away that you can steal. Even they say, we don't want the blockages. We don't want the police. We just want the black one want to go into the diamond store and take the diamonds.
I also want to. I also want to do that. I also want to bring in the shop and just take it.
All right, so no new thing, no query, no critical thing. Just believe this thing out of the mouth. Read a lot of nonsense the professor write, and this is what they proper, and the woman is saying. We cannot even talk to them. the feminists. Is there a difference between a male and female? I don't know, I'm not a biologist. What rubbish! What stupidity! Oh, I am scientific! What nonsense come out of their mouth. And then sure, they are here in front of the Senate. You know, if you lie for the Senate, they can put you in jail. So all the nonsense that are propagated in our life. So you can look now on the internet. This is what the people think. This is what they say. This is the ideas they have. This is how far they are. There's nothing there. Eventually you say, well, can they not come up with a better story? The only good story is based on reality, but all these writers, it's just rubbish. They cannot make up a true story. If you have at least a history stories, the dramas in the wrong place, the events is unexpected, it's just much more attractive than try to imagine a story, more action, more. This is just rubbish. It's just how much rubbish comes out of man's mind. He just don't get things. Now, surely the Bible, the New Testament, start talking. You must already be moral, can stand there. You have to go now a little bit further. Okay? You have to have some other things that must open in your life. Faith must open. Your spirit must open. You need word. You need light. Other things must start happening in your life. Surely now you get to the people that say, all right, I am now a Christian, but they also know nothing about what the scriptures talk about. Now, will you make a case if you open Romans? Paul say that it is not one good man. There's not one that, right. There's only one. They said it's not a single one that seek God. They seek many other things. They seek money, they seek a family, they seek a house, they seek a position, they seek to study, they seek go on the internet, you see what they seek. There's not one, and those that pretend, wow, this is the will of God, this is the will of God for the end time, this is all sorts of pretension. Some have some giftings, but if you hear what they say, it's a lot of nonsense. Now the gift is no problem, so people have also a gift of the mind. It's not to say, you say right, what is a mind and how a mind operates or whatsoever. Nobody has anything to say how to study, how to understand something. You have a mind or you have not a mind. And nobody, all what they teach about it is a lot of nonsense. Can you stand it? They can use maybe the mind, but they cannot say anything about the mind. Some reason there is not a mind. Everything is just mathematics. But they use their mind to do the mathematics, but they never talk about the mind. They just never talk. So everything is material, but they don't, how they express the message, they have nothing to say about that. There must be also some physical, but you know, the biologists become so, they say, here it's too complex what happened in one cell. It's too complex. You hear the scientists say, we want to see how the protein are developed. The calculations, how it forms, is too complex. It's too much for the biggest supercomputers, the variation. So they have now invested in a quantum computer. Because a quantum computer can tell them now what really happened and can calculate. The mathematics too complex, too much on the same time, and they have to see it in time. How the protein develop and how it can develop and how it function. We need the quantum computer, and they've spent a lot. They say, although they cannot do us now, but it's just an example of what we must invest in the future. They have listened to a lot of propaganda. So they just say the mathematics around just forming a protein is too complex, it's too much for them to understand. So they need a quantum computer to give us some direction, some final conclusions, some patterns or whatsoever. Our current computer is just too inefficient. She put her hope on a quantum, and I say, the whole thing of quantum is imaginary. Till today, they cannot prove it. Don't think there's a lot of money put on it. Put the best brains on it. Something is wrong. Somebody must just say. Somebody say something wrong, which do not exist. And if it don't exist, it will never come forward. All right, so don't think the things which we see in the cells are not highly complex. We cannot understand it. Even with all the help of our computers, we are just at the blockage is just too much. You can stand it's just too much. You see, I explained to Jordan, I say, just to record a second audio, how many numbers do you need? 4,000 numbers. No. And if you have now a minute, how many now you can give? Then I say video are like 100 times more numbers you need for the same time. With just our little audio, which our ears so easy pick up any little sound, if that music go anything else, you hear it. Your brain must handle all these millions of numbers to sense something is out. You think your ear just hear something? No, there's massive brain cover after you hear the things. Same with your eyes. So the biology is not so simple. The biology is not simple. Oh, surely you can bolt the ear easy. We have just a microphone or just a little speaker actually. But to reflect, to have meaning behind all the variations of frequencies we make with our mouth, and to interpret it. This guy talk, this, the same word, but you figure this is the same information. You filter, you work it out. And this guy talk like that. You also know exactly what he say. So what happened in your brain is just magic. Now some of the things we assimilate, now surely we can fastly get the audio, store it, and from the audio numbers, put it through a circuit and make the frequencies again and you hear the sound. But to understand it, this is a totally new world. Now surely we want now with ChatGPT, so you talk, so they put it over in text, so this is a very big thing. And then if they have text, this is like you type something in and then they can go through the AI databases and give you some answers. But don't ask them to be a little bit logic, because they never get to a logical answer. They get just stuck. It's like you ask, but it's nothing. You just come up with the same thing. You ask, you say, but it's not like this, but we like this. And then he comes just go back with his own thing and say he has no capacity of grasping logic. 1 to 3. If you just are simple knowledge, give a good presentation of the knowledge. But the moment you say, but this knowledge is not right because of this and this and this, he cannot figure, this is the knowledge. He cannot correct himself. He cannot catch what you have say are logic, and he have to change his pattern. He cannot change his pattern. It's something you catch, but most people don't catch. Alright, so I won't talk a little bit further, that's all I want to say. Without grace, without a new talent, without higher powers, without anointing. So the Bible has many words. So just read Romans. He says, by faith we are justified. So what is faith? Faith is light. Faith is enlightenment. So Hebrews say after we are enlightened. So it means you have to wake up. You have to see a little bit further. What these things about. You have to be a little bit smarter than Solomon. You have to see further in the consequences of things. Your heart must be open. You have to be higher sensitive. Your spirit must be activated. So surely the gifts of the Spirit is to activate your spirit. If you pray long, you start waking up. Surely, here and there somebody say something, but still so primitive, not much light in this world. So just for me to say, all right, you can say, what was your donations, but what was your profit? It will be a strange concept for all the Christians. I say, you have not gone far in the Spirit. You are not really powerful in the Spirit. So, but where do you look on the internet that they tell you how to build up your spirit? Oh, you have to cheat a little bit. And you cheat. And nobody has any concept about a spirit. When you talk a spirit, they think it's a ghost.
What? Actually, they have their chi. They are all so fearful.
So, yeah. What type of chi is that?
Actually, they move half hour. Each one is so fearful. I'm a woman, so weak.
All right, you see, without extra capability, talent, extra chi, how can you build up your chi too? The Chinese talk a lot about chi. How can you build up your chi? To tell me, let us still sit very still. Then our chi will be built up. To what is the method? I must meditate for my chi. I have to forget everything. This is my peace. No, you need power for peace. Maturity is peace. Fear is no peace.
Get into mind, you have rest. Need rest.
So who talk about these things? Also, well, I say you have to build up extra. You need extra powers. Otherwise, you cannot have peace. You cannot have joy. You can have how much money. You are sickly and sad.
Yesterday, I walked to drive a car. I see the neighbor drive the car and I wait for them to go off. I say, oh, 我都晚点还不是我叔叔。all the fun. I don't want to be like that. I guess he talks for sometimes.
Alright, so without grace, without extra giftings, you cannot be justified. Can you understand? The grace, our interpret, he just forgive our sin. No, you need extra talents, extra giftings, extra powers in your life. And you know, how more your higher your powers is, how bigger effort you make. Can you understand that? The guy that's a little bit smarter, he get very busy. The guy that's not such a baboon, he will sit in the tree there and check you out. This is his life. The cat will lie there. Do nothing. People are active. And if their minds start running, they get much more active. The same, if you start getting talent, something start moving around you. More activity. Alright, so first Paul saying in Romans, they say, don't think, if even you are mortals, you are not right. You need a stronger chi. You need more light. You need a word. Need the inner word. You need a higher potential inside you. You need more talents. Just to make it simple. You say by grace you need lot of grace, lot of talents. Otherwise you won't be right. You won't seek high things. You won't, if you talk, all the young peoples will fall flat. Here the guy must go through a hard life to just talk a little bit. Meaningful things. The young people are not right, even they are young. They are empty. If God look, he say, I don't want to talk to these empty people.
I feel that's just like me.
They are the flats.
No, without faith, you cannot please God. They don't please God.
No faith, no insight, no interesting thing in their life. All right, just to give you just a statement which Paul said, by grace, we are justified. God was so good. We have become now the righteousness of God. No, you need a lot of powers. a lot of spirit, a lot of light, a lot of inner words. You need a gospel inside you that are good news to justify you. You have to be in peace. You have to be full of joy to be justified. If you are sad, you are not justified. You need a lot of faith and boldness, otherwise you are wrong. You wake up with no faith, you are wrong. You have to build yourself up in your faith. Otherwise, only by faith, through faith, we are justified, you see. How can you get faith? Be very bold, very strong. Only that will justify you. But we are equal to help the poor also.